There are moments in boxing history that feel less like athletic contests and more like violent storms colliding in the center of the ring. The rivalry between Mike Tyson and Donovan Ruddock was one of those moments. A clash so ferocious that even today it echoes through highlight reels, commentary booths, and the memories of anyone who ever witnessed the brutality those nights unleashed. Tyson was already a living myth by that time, a man who walked into arenas like a force of nature, eyes cold, fists blazing, an unstoppable king who had built a reputation on destruction. In an era where heavyweights trembled at the thought of facing him, almost no one dared to believe they could survive, much less win. But then came Donovan Ruddock, a relentless young powerhouse who didn't bow to the storm. He walked straight into it. Ruddock arrived in the heavyweight division with the swagger of a man who believed destiny owed him greatness. He crafted a signature weapon, the smash punch, a violent hybrid between a hook and an uppercut that seemed engineered to detach souls from bodies. Opponents fell at his feet like branches breaking under the force of a hurricane. Before long, his name stirred unease in gym corners, locker rooms, and press conferences. Legends like Evander Holyfield and Riddick Bowe avoided him during their rise, unwilling to gamble their careers against a man whose punch could end a future in 1 second. Ruddock fed off this aura. He thrived on being the one heavyweight others whispered about. He embraced the role of the division's boogeyman. But every boogeyman eventually meets something worse. The boxing world kept asking for a Tyson versus Ruddock showdown, a battle between an established king and the vicious contender who had been terrorizing everyone in his path. Yet for years, the fight didn't happen. Promoters protected their investments. Timing never lined up. Excuses drifted through the media like smoke. Then Tyson suffered the unthinkable, a knockout loss to Buster Douglas, a moment that shattered the illusion of invincibility surrounding him. The king had bled. The king had fallen. And when a king falls, every challenger comes running. After his defeat, Tyson came back with a hunger that felt almost primal. He tore through opponents, desperate to re-establish dominance. But there was still one name looming over his comeback, one voice poking at him, one man bold enough to taunt him publicly. Donovan Ruddock didn't hide his intentions. He wanted Tyson. He wanted the throne. He wanted what every heavyweight dreamed of claiming, the right to stand tall after surviving the storm. His bravado wasn't quiet or respectful. He provoked. He mocked. He dared Tyson to face him. The moment their first fight was announced, anticipation spread like wildfire. This wasn't just another bout on the schedule. It felt like the collision boxing had been waiting years to witness. Tyson entered the ring with fury burning behind his eyes, determined not just to beat Ruddock but to annihilate him. Across the canvas stood Ruddock, fearlessly staring back, ready to push the king into hell if that's what it took to win. When the bell rang, both men launched at each other with the instinct of predators. The ring instantly became a battleground of speed, power, and pure violence. Tyson attacked with the force of a charging bull, ripping into Ruddock with vicious hooks and body shots. Ruddock absorbed the punishment and answered with a smash, firing back with enough power to jolt Tyson's head and rattle the crowd. Their exchanges sounded like collisions between iron plates. Every punch could have ended the fight. Every second felt like borrowed time. Tyson knocked Ruddock down in the third, but Ruddock rose with fire in his eyes, refusing to let the moment break him. He stood toe-to-toe with a man many believed unbeatable in close combat. Fans could hardly believe it. As the rounds continued, Ruddock stunned Tyson with brutal uppercuts that shook the king's composure. For the first time in years, fans watched Tyson force backward, taking punches that echoed through the arena. But Tyson was forged differently. Pain didn't push him away. It pushed him forward. In the 7th round, he unleashed a devastating barrage that sent Ruddock reeling, prompting a sudden stoppage from the referee. The fight was over, but the controversy exploded instantly. Ruddock was still conscious. He was still upright. He wanted to continue. The crowd erupted with anger, and even Tyson himself appeared unsatisfied with the premature ending. The rivalry had not been settled. It had only begun. Within days, the rematch became the most anticipated fight in boxing. This time, it wasn't just about pride. It was about unfinished business. Ruddock declared he would not be denied. Tyson vowed to complete what he considered an incomplete victory, and the boxing world prepared to witness another war. When the second fight finally arrived, tension filled the air long before the fighters entered the ring. The opening bell unleashed chaos once again. Tyson came out swinging with murderous intent, driving Ruddock backward. But Ruddock refused to retreat. He hurled counterattacks with everything he had, burying hooks into Tyson's body and head. In one violent exchange, Tyson landed an overhand right that dropped Ruddock to the canvas. The crowd roared, believing the end was near. Ruddock rose again. Tyson knocked him down a second time. Ruddock rose again. What followed was a gladiatorial display unseen in modern boxing. Ruddock, jaw already fractured early in the fight, fought through unimaginable agony. He landed his smash with pinpoint accuracy, sending Tyson stumbling and forcing the king to retreat for one of the few times in his prime. Tyson regained his footing and unleashed a brutal combination. Ruddock answered with more hooks. Both men hit each other with punches that could have ended careers. It wasn't simply a boxing match. It was a battle of wills, a test of two men refusing to yield even as their bodies began to fail. By the end, the ring had become a graveyard of strength and stamina. Sweat, pain, and exhaustion covered both fighters as the final bell rang. When the scores were announced, Tyson stood victorious by unanimous decision. He had outlanded, outworked, and outsurvived one of the hardest punchers he had ever faced. But even in defeat, Ruddock earned something rare: the respect of a king. Their rivalry didn't need a trilogy. It didn't need another chapter. Those two nights had written all the legend either man needed. For Tyson, the victory marked the end of his prime, the final moment before his life spiraled into turmoil, legal battles, and eventual imprisonment. For Ruddock, the fights took something from him he would never get back. His career never again reached the momentum he once carried, and the smash that once terrified the division slowly faded into history. But together, these two men created a rivalry that still lives on today, one defined not by hatred, but by the raw, violent poetry of two warriors willing to give everything inside the ring. If you want more deep-dive documentaries on legendary rivalries, unforgettable fights, and the warriors who shaped boxing history, make sure to like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel so you never miss the next story.